Mentoring with Geraldine is a bite-sized practitioner podcast for naturopaths, nutritionists, herbalists, coaches, and practitioners. This podcast responds directly to the needs of you, the practicing natural therapist. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Mentoring with Geraldine and the Bite-Sized Podcast. How the devil are you? And if you're on YouTube, hello, how are you going? So today, for the last three, I've run a little series on connecting with your clients. So we had the discovery, not discovery, focus, whatever you want to call it, call first. Then we talked about the first appointment. Last week, we talked about that follow-up appointment, possibly the elusive follow-up appointment. And today I'm going to talk about those other connection spaces that we have and those other ways and places of connecting. When we've had our clients and they haven't come back, let's start there. What are we going to do? They rescheduled and then never came back, or they didn't reschedule, they didn't book a follow-up appointment. Well, as I said last time, number one is we look at ourselves. What did we say? What disconnect was there that meant that they didn't want to come back? Did we give them too much information? Because if we've given too much information, they might be overwhelmed, or they might think, well, I don't need to come back. I've got all the information now. I've got all of this stuff. I'm not going to read it. I haven't got time, but I'm not going to go back because I've got all this information. So we have to think, what is it that's preventing them from coming back? Now, we can think about it all we like. We can twiddle our thumbs. We can do a little jig. We can dance in the moonlight. None of that's going to help. The only way we're going to figure out why they're not coming back is by asking them. Nobody wants to do that because we always think it's our fault that they haven't come back. Now, we don't know why they haven't come back unless we ask them. And these can be difficult questions because people don't want to upset us either. They know we're a small business. We're the one person. They don't want to cause us angst and maybe tell us the truth. Or they might more than happily tell us the absolute truth, and we worry that that absolute truth might hurt. Simple fact is, this is your business, and you might have to just take it on the chin that they turn around and say, well, you gave me all the information. I don't need to come back and see you. And you can say, wonderful, I'm so pleased that you found everything I did so immersive, so fulfilling, and so perfect. But I would like to book you in for a follow-up just to see how things are going and to see if you are able to follow up on what we talked about. You know, if you're overgiving. And if you're overgiving like that, then you need to reassess what you're doing because that person may work through it all and do it all and be amazing and take up eating kale and kale chips and all of the things to do with kale that you ask them to, or they may turn around and not do any of it. So we have to know what's kind of going on inside their head, but not really. And we don't want too much info, but we do want to know why they're not coming back. And if the client does say, oh, I got all the information, I don't need it, the next person that you give all that information to, they might not do any of it. And because it's overwhelmed for them. So we have to work on how can we give them the right amount of information. Well, personally, I believe if you give them more than an A4 sheet of paper, you've given them too much. And that's simply because of the over intensity of the internet and everything else. You know, 2017, 2018, I really started to notice the difference between handing out paper and people wanting email and reply on email, and they didn't really want the paper. 2019, it came to a little bit of crux of, should I be handing out all these separate pieces of paper? I actually designed a health book for my clients that I was going to use. It was about to go to the printers, and guess, of course, what happened in 2020. And I went entirely online, so I didn't need a printed version. So we converted all the information that we just about sent to print, thank goodness we didn't, or I'd still be sitting here with all of those books, into fillable forms for clients instead. And I had to rethink the way I did things online, very different to what I'd been doing prior. But I did notice over the years, remember I've been in practice, almost 20 years, not quite 20 years yet. I don't know, I haven't got a certificate handy to look at. Not quite 20 years. And when I think about what it was like when I first started, and it was all manila folder, and yes, I did have a laptop, and yes, I did save things on the laptop, but you couldn't guarantee things would be saved on the laptop because laptops crashed way more often than they do now. And I couldn't save anything to the cloud safely. Everything had to be saved onto disk. Yeah, they had to be saved externally. So we need to think, this client hasn't come back. Why haven't they come back? I need to listen to what they've got to say, and I need to spread that out over my entire client base. Thank you so much. You gave me all the information. I don't need to come back. So they don't need to come back because they feel overwhelmed. Are they really going to do it? Haven't they done it? I don't feel that you solved any of my problems. I've only ever had that after, a few sessions with people where they're like, we haven't done any, it hasn't worked, nothing's happened. So 2 of those occasions. So one of them, she was like, you haven't helped, you haven't done anything. And I was like, but sorted your guts out, your blood pressure's down, all these things, like 5 things. And each time I said something else, she's like, oh yes, but, oh yes, but, oh yes, but. And then at the end she said, but you didn't solve my rosacea. So I hadn't pinpointed her goal right at the beginning. Goals are super, super important. So when we look at these reschedules and cancellations, we also have to look at what was their goal. Are we working towards their goal? Or are we working towards their goal? Are we working towards the goal we want to work to, like I did with that lady? Another client who turned up every week and said, nothing's worked, nothing's happened. At the end of the consult, when I would say something like, so, are you struggling with taking the tablet or the hip? Oh, we haven't started it. We didn't buy it. So of course nothing had worked. So they didn't actually do anything. 3 celiacs in the family, and for some reason this young lady had really bad skin, but she didn't have celiac, so she could eat as much gluten as she liked. No, you can't, love. Anyway, so that was a me problem because I kept getting them coming back, and I never really thought to myself, this person, her mother's coming, her mother's paying, her mother Googles everything after we've done it and decides that what I've said is wrong anyway. Why am I even bothering? So at the last one when they came, I said, I don't think we'll book you another appointment. I think we'll leave it there and I'll let you get on doing what you want to do because she needs to stop gluten and you won't stop gluten. So I don't think there's much more I can do. So sometimes we just have to stop and give it away. But these things for me happen later on in the relationship, and I've missed that subtle moment. And you're going to do that too. We all miss those subtle little moments where, the entire family is celiac. One person isn't. Of course, they're going to be gluten sensitive. No, they might not be celiac, but they're going to be sensitive to gluten. So of course they're going to have bloating and bad skin because the body is dealing with the problem in its own way. But I didn't see that and I didn't notice it. So we have to double check what we do. And we have to look at why people aren't coming back. And if they are coming back, why they're not getting the successes they should when we think and we know that we've given them all the things or done all the right stuff. Maybe it's an emotional something that's holding them back. Lots of people plateau and weight loss, and they're doing what they're meant to do, and yet they're plateaued. Why have they plateaued? What has caused that plateau? Is there an emotional block there? Is it a hormonal block there? Is it because their hormones are actually changing right at that point and they're going from they're heading into perimenopause, so they've got another struggle. What is that block? What is holding them back? So when we think we've got the reschedules, we've got the cancellations, but a lot of you, like me, will have people on your books that you haven't seen for years. So we can reactivate our clients. So have you thought about reactivating your clients and how you would reactivate your clients? Obviously, the simplest thing is to email them all. And that first email, and possibly even the second email, should actually say, hey, I'm open. My working days may have changed since I last saw you. I'm now working on a Monday and a Tuesday rather than a Monday and a Thursday or something or other. My rooms have changed. Where I work from has changed. These things. If you don't want to hear from me, I will not be upset if you unsubscribe, is what we need to say in that email. Your life may have changed as well. You might have moved away. You might be really healthy and happy and not need to see me. So we need to let them unsubscribe. And then once those people have unsubscribed with our love, anyone can unsubscribe. It's not we're letting them, anyone can unsubscribe, can't they? But we're letting them go with love is what I mean. Okay, we're letting them take that choice, and rather than us cluttering up their box. And people might see that and they've been made this offer and go, well, actually, you don't email that often, and it's always good when you do. I'm happy to keep it. Happy to reading your emails when they come. I might need you in the future. For example, I had an email from the air conditioning company in July. I last had them out apparently 7 years ago. So they decided to do an email blast to remind me that I was one of their clients and did my air conditioning need servicing before the winter. Now, I hadn't used it since the summer, and I've cleaned the filters. I've done what I've meant to do. And as far as I'm aware, it worked in the summer. Can't really remember. It wasn't really that hot a summer. It's freezing winter. Went to put it on, it broke. Called them up because I had the email. So sometimes those helpful emails are helpful to remind people that they exist. I would never have phoned them as the company to come to fix if I hadn't had that email. I would have phoned the brand, the branded name, and got them to come out, right? So think about reconnecting with those clients that you've had in the past and reconnecting on socials. So you might think, well, I'm always on socials, reconnecting on socials, but we reconnect on socials by just changing things up a bit. Pop up, not pop up, but to pop up a carousel, giving your new dates and times. Make that offer to join your mailing list. Create what it is. Not create, but tell them what it is you're doing. You can create an opt-in if you want to, but tell people what you're doing right now and what's available to them. So my social media is mostly run by my VA. So it's only really my story that is interesting because that's what I pop on. I put stuff on my story every so often. If something interesting happens, I'll pop it on my story. So, we need to shake things up a bit. We need to put things in different places, to go out of our comfort zone and look at other places and spaces. It might be that there are some shops near you that are happy to carry your card or a little poster about you. There's somewhere that you might be able to connect with. Long, long, long ago, there was a butcher in our local shopping centre, and the shopping centre had been really good. And then the IGA, they changed owners, and there was a little lady who'd been selling fruit and vegetable there forever, and she sold, and the place took a dive. I think the cafe sold as well. I think everything happened. So the place took a bit of a dive, right? And the butcher is still the same, but it was still his small business. And so I said to him, well, how about, you have we do a couple a week. We say, Wednesday eats or something, and whatever you've got on sale, I'll create the recipe for it. And they can get the fruit and veg now at the IGA, so we'll do seasonal stuff. And so they were just A5 is half of an A4, isn't it? So I would print up literally half a dozen of them and take them, and they were just sitting there at the butcher's, and it was get these things from the IGA, get these things from him, and there's your dinner done. And they were really popular, and I got a number of new clients just doing something simple like that. It's amazing what you can get if you just shake it up a little bit. But we have to get these old clients back. If they've paid you money once, then they came to you for a reason. Where are they now, and how often should they be coming back? Can we create a program that I personally believe that all programs should include them? All of my programs that are successful have contact with the people doing the program, watching the videos, watching the webinars, watching the learnings and trainings. And because I love meeting people, and I'd be really bored if I didn't do that. I would hate my job if I didn't connect with people. But how can you get them to reconnect with you? By email, you could phone them, you could send text messages. They gave you the okay to contact them, and it's time to reconnect with them. And the easiest way to start is with an email. When we're connecting with people that haven't come back to us, or maybe with people who have been coming back to us, and that person who was really happy with your service, right? You're talking to them and you say, oh yeah, that first time came to see me, you were going 20 times a day. Now, your bowels are perfect. You're not bloated anymore. Your skin's fantastic. What else are we going to do? And they would just go, oh, thank you so much, Geraldine. It's amazing. Love it. The new me, so much energy. I feel fantastic having seen you. That's when we ask for the review, okay? That's when we go straight in. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Just head straight in there with that. I'm so pleased you're doing so well. Would you mind giving me a review? Your review is really important to me. As a small business, we all need reviews, and your review will help me and my small business to help other people who are unwell. I don't want you, and then you've got to clarify. I don't want you to write anything personal. People don't need to know your journey, because I know you want to keep that to yourself. But what they want to know is that I can help them. So all you need to say there is, Geraldine is a wonderful communicator, and I resolved all my issues and I reached all my goals. People don't need to know what those goals are. Some people have, in my reviews, there are full-on reviews of what I've done, even though I've said to people they don't need to write that because of confidentiality and everything else, but they've still written it. Other people, you can see they've just said she's wonderful. But it's really important important that that's when we connect with them to get them to tell other people. If you've got your elevator pitch down pat, then you're sharing who you are with other people as well. You're sharing who you are, what you have to give and what you have to offer with everyone you're meeting, and they understand what you do. So we need to reconnect, and we need to connect for the first time, and we need to get people to tell others about us. We have to get that connection through, was it reciprocity? We have to get them to share, because people trust their friends. They trust Google reviews. I Google review all the time. I don't know, apparently I'm in the top 10% of Park Google reviewers. Who knew there was even such a thing? But I review on Google if something's good. The only reason I would put a bad review on Google is if something awful happened. I had a car company in New Zealand. I was given just the worst car in the world. It was just horrific. It was raining. I had like bald tires. It was just terrible. And my credit card details were stolen from the company. So it wasn't a brilliant holiday. When that so I gave a 1-star review, and because I couldn't get hold of them either to complain. They wouldn't even answer. They'd answer the phone and I'd go on hold and this sort of nonsense. So I left a terrible Google review. Immediately the company contacted me directly because they had my information. We went through everything. I got a different car. The person who was the problem was no longer the problem. All of the things happened. Everything was made better by one phone call because I left a bad review. So, and on the expectation that I would then upgrade and change that review, which I did. Okay. So, I mean, I had to leave a bad review because I couldn't get hold of them to make my complaint. I couldn't get hold of them for my own safety, which is, when you've hired a car. So it's a bit different, but if I go into a cafe and the food is pretty average, the staff are pretty average, then if they were rude or out of order, then yeah, I might leave a 3-star review. But generally, I don't think I've ever actually left a 3-star review. I think I've only left 4-star reviews. But generally, I'll only leave a 5-star review because I think, hey, this is worth sharing. Maybe I'm here on a good day. Maybe this place is normally terrible, but I've had it on a good day. The scenery is amazing. The atmosphere is amazing. I had the most incredible breakfast. Was it a month ago, 2 months ago now, in Mildura? I took a photo of it and I posted my Google review. I haven't had any in Adelaide recently that I haven't already reviewed, so I can't new reviews. But the point is, we need those reviews for our business, just like we need to review other businesses for their business. And we need to get that across to our clients as well, because we need them to review us. So most of my reviews now are on the podcast. It's bumped my podcast up. Yes, my podcast has been going for 300 and I don't know how many podcasts now. So we've been going for a good long time. And I've got and there is a 1-star review there, but of course, no comment. That's just to bring my numbers down. Thank you very much. You can't do anything about a 1-star review in America for no reason. There's always going to be someone who just puts a 1-star and no comment. That's why we read reviews. So if somebody just puts 1-star and no comment, we know they're just being horrible. Yeah, but we need our clients to review. We need to review our clients. We need to make sure we're following up with our clients. We need to make sure that we're emailing our clients to check with our connection that, do they want more appointments? What is it they're missing? Do they need more product? We need to follow up with them. The longest you should leave a follow-up is 3 months. And even then, I will do a telephone follow-up with my clients at no cost. The ones who are really well, the ones I've been seeing for years. So really just to remind them that I exist. I'm only giving them 10 minutes of my time. What's 10 minutes of my time? Hi, how are you? How are you going? What's going on with you? That's 15 minutes, isn't it? So it's the same as focus call. What's going on with you? And then they'll tell me, oh, you're great. Oh, I need some more supplements. Oh, that's fabulous. No worries. I'll update Araya for you. Simple as that. It cost me 15 minutes of my time, but because I've reminded them who I am, I'm gaining money from the supplement sales, which I have at 10% off, but I'm gaining something from supplement sales, and they are being reminded of my existence to tell their friends. All right. Anyone who sends me a client. So if one of my clients, because on my intake form, it says, how did you find out about me? Please write the name. And so I expect their name to go down, or Google or whatever. And if someone's name goes down and they're a current client, they get a free appointment. And now I know lots of people are like, oh, I would never give a free appointment. Da, da, da. But the people who are getting free appointments have been seeing me for ages. They've got better. What is half an hour out of my life? to thank them for referring someone who's going to be worth a few thousand, what is half an hour out of my life to keep them going and keep them happy so that they're referring to other people? They're making me money. It's how I built my business. So we do have to check the systems around everything we do, how people come into us, when we follow them up, how we follow them up, and how we keep them on our books into the future so that they're referring other people to us and creating and generating more business for us. All right, we're small businesses. We have to pay our mortgage. We have to pay the water bill, the electricity bill, all of the bills. No one's going to hand us money. It doesn't grow on trees, although we'd like it to. It does not. And we all know this. So we have to get those reviews in, and we have to service our people in a really sensible, forward-thinking way so that they know where they're going. They know what the system is. They know what to expect as they go down that health road with you. Okay, so I hope you've had a good one today. That's the end of this little mini series. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will look forward to catching up with you on the next podcast, but also in the Confident Practitioner community if you're not a member already. There's a lot going on. There's always stuff going on, isn't there? And I'd like to be part of what's going on with you and to support and help you even more if I can with you and your business. So get in contact, book the focus call. Have a good one. Look after yourself, and I'll catch up with you soon. See ya.